Okay, let's talk very briefly about position vectors. And here's what a position vector is. If I were to take a vector, okay, here in this graph I have the blue one is a vector, okay? The initial point of the vector is at 2, 3. The terminal point of the vector is at 6, 4. So we're going to use this in a second. So I'm just going to copy these things down. We're starting at 2, 3. It ends at 6, 4. Okay? Now, vectors, we don't care about where on the coordinate grid they're located. They can get picked up and slid anywhere. What matters is the direction in which they are facing and their magnitude, which is the length of the vector. So if we look up here at the top where it talks about properties of vectors, basically a vector is a directed line segment. So that means it has a specific length. Okay? It has an initial point and an ending point, which is the terminal point. Okay, the magnitude is the length of it. Okay, and then we have the direction, which is basically the angle in which the vector is going. And we're going to in the next video, we'll talk about how we calculate that angle in which the vector is going. In other words, what is the direction of the vector? Okay, but right now we're just talking about position vectors. So if I were to pick up this blue one, I can slide it anywhere on the grid that I want. So I would slide it 2 to the left. So it lands right here. And then I would slide it 3 down. So it lands right here. So basically I'm going to pick up the blue, slide it left and down, and it will land where the orange one is. Now, mathematically, right, we only put numbers with everything, right? Mathematically, that is taking this initial point, it's moving it 2 to the left and 3 down. Well, every single point on the vector has to move 2 to the left and 3 down. So what that means is my vector will now start at 0, 0, and the vector will end at 4, 1. Now, what you are seeing on the grid and right now with my notation is these pointed brackets, okay? When you have these pointed brackets present, that is the indicator that the initial point is at 0, 0. So this vector has been moved so that it's starting at 0, 0, and this is where it ends. Every position vector means, right, every one that you see means that it starts at 0, 0, and it will have these brackets on it indicating where it ends, okay? One last thing for this video, and that is notation. Vectors can be notated P, Q. So we're talking about the point where it starts, the point where it ends, and then vector notation on the top. Okay. You will also see examples where they use a lowercase letter to represent the vector. So someone might say this is vector V. So maybe we just say vector V. Okay. Other ways, like we just saw, we could notate a vector for, oops, I don't want -1, I want 1. For 1, and have the pointed brackets on it indicating not only that it's a vector, but that it is a position vector.